Fundación Raíces Dominicana presenta Noche Latina 2023. Este 27 de abril. Una noche repleta de entretenimientos con la revolución urbana del momento. Flow 28. Para deleitarnos, la salsa con clase de David Cava. La sensación del momento, Ángel Diol. El bachatero número 1 de la República Dominicana, el chaval de la bachata. El artista más completo de la República Dominicana. Bueno en balada, bueno en merengue, bueno en salsa. Alex Bueno.
Con el alma desnuda.
Entrada $40 por adelantado y $60 en la puerta. Reserva tu mesa VIP al 1721-588-2744. Patrocinado por Parlaiment, Sonesto Bajo y Sky High. Será un evento para que nadie te lo cuente.
Dog life. Dog life.
Dog life is life.
Dog life, dog life.
C'est from la mauvaise, yo ka dwe combien moun. Even normal, pi pa connaître pour moun. Les yi ka sorti, pi toujours niveau chive.
Wow, 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 wow. Girl, I love to feel it, whipping, whipping, whipping. Pulling, pulling, pulling. Girl, I love to feel it, clamping, clamping, clamping. Clamping, clamping, clamping. Girl, I love it. When you work your pussy muscle. Girl, I love it when you work your pussy muscle. Wow. Girl, I love it when you work your pussy muscle. Wow. Girl, I love it when you work your pussy muscle. What a wow, what a wow, what a wow, what a wow, wow, wow. Girl, I love it when you work your pussy muscle. Work your pussy muscle, baby. I'm feeling it gripping. I don't sleep in, baby.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okay, kids, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with the news. The SCDF took another L. The reason why they took another L is because, you know, they're wicked, and wicked people don't prosper. So therefore, a Calypsonian, Roxy Webster, during the eliminations a couple of months ago, was cheated out of her spot during the eliminations. The reason for being, listen to this, logic people. She sang a song during a woman's event last year. Apparently, during the elimination, she wasn't allowed to sing that song because they don't consider it original. Therefore, they disqualify her. Now, Roxy, who is half St. Martin, half Anguillian, was like, you know what? I ain't taking that smoke. I ain't just taking it lying down. I going to carry the backside of the SCDF to court. And she did on Friday. She brought the Calypsonian Association and also the SCDF to court to make them allowing her to perform for the Wednesday's Calypso competition. And guess what? She won. The decision was made on Monday, and now she is allowed to partake in the Calypso finals competition. So instead of 10 competitors, it looks like we're going to have 11 competitors. You know, I'm very, very happy that the Calypsonian Roxy Webster had the cojones to bring the big bad SCDF to court, because they always like to do people what they want, how they want, and then expect to get away with it by hiding and saying, we just volunteers. Oh, we just volunteers. Please don't be rough on us. We're just volunteers. We're doing this for the love of Carnival. Meanwhile, they're just taking it left, right, and center to people they don't like or people that don't kiss their ass. So, therefore, they get a little bit of the medicine, well, a lot of the medicine, because they lost, and now they have to allow the young lady to take part in the Calypso finals, which is good for the Calypso show, because what is Calypso without Bacchanal? So, SCDF lost the court case, and now Roxanne Webster is allowed to perform for the upcoming Calypso show. So congratulations to her. All right. It's almost as if, you know, the court case was as successful, like even government is the one that losing court cases left, right, and center. Now SCDF losing court cases left, right, and center. Like everybody just lose a court case. Government, come on, man. Anyway, the situation with the police officers, haven't heard anything over the weekend. They had a meeting on Friday. And then afterwards, some police officers got paid, but they got paid their regular salary early. And then I've been trying to get in contact with the union all weekend, and I haven't heard anything because typical St. Martin, when they need your assistance in order to put word out to the public, they are on your phone 24/7. Know that you're trying to get information so that you can let people know what is happening. If, you know, the situation is resolved, you don't hear anything from these unions. You don't hear anything from the people who you've been in contact for so long. You know, while the struggle was going on, we stand with the police, we with the police get their money, silence. You don't hear nothing now, everything is okay, they're back to stopping cars, they're back to being rough and tough and big bad police officers. I'm still gonna say congratulations for getting your salary, because you didn't get nothing extra, nothing. You just get your salary before the end of the month. Don't spend it all in the village, because we know the prices is very, 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 very expensive. So take your time. Don't spend everything in one place, because at the end of the month, you might want to go on a go slow. But then when you come, don't come by the late night, because I don't like hypocrites. You should have come and at least give us an update. Carmex, Mauricia, all of those union members, I ain't hearing nothing from them because they get the salary. So everybody is fine, everybody's good. We ain't got no problems, right? Minister of Justice doing a good job? Nothing from them, boy. I was like, wow. You see when people want to just use you? Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, I think the police unions and SCDF just like the same, you know. They only like to cry wolf whenever things happen to them, and then when things okay, you know, you don't hear nothing from them at all. In some parliamentary news, I had a blast when I saw Mr. Julio Romney, one of the political analysts of the late night show. He was in Parliament, and he was there to speak to the ad hoc committee for electoral reform. And I can tell you that he let them have it. He told them in their face, like he was in their face, he was like, independent members of Parliament do not exist. To the members who are independent, I was like, this is epic. This guy is the king. He is savage king, like savage king. He just went in with the explanation as to why and where and how it ain't in the Constitution. So how the hell we calling this, how the hell we have independent members of Parliament? We don't have that. It doesn't exist. Let me give you the highlights of that parliamentary committee meeting. It was so good.
In Parliament. Madam Chair, here lies the crux of St. Martin political conundrum. Party representatives in Parliament circumventing the election system, resulting in instability and stagnation in government. In that regard, over the years, members of Parliament have been indiscriminately declaring themselves as independent from their respective elected political party, thereafter aligning with a different political party or party, thus causing the duly elected government to fall and calling of new elections. While this declaring as an independent member of Parliament continues today, said declared independent members of Parliament are now shying away from aligning with a different political party and or parties and opting to sit in Parliament as an independent new faction, thus fostering minority support in Parliament and positioning themselves as the balance of power in Parliament. A development that is inconsistent with democratic elected representatives and the scheme of the election system, thus warrant the need or indicating for electoral reform in that particular area. Nonetheless, there are those that believe otherwise and contend that they have won the seat and justifiably can declare themselves as an independent member of Parliament. Madam Chair, they are to be referred to Article 47 of the Constitution, Section 2 of its explanatory memorandum, and which unequivocally states that the distribution of seats and membership in Parliament is based on a system list, which is political parties, not a system of persons or candidates. And every political party is assigned a number of seats in Parliament in proportion to the number of votes cast for that political party. Madam Chair, this is reflected further in Article 95 of the Election Ordinance, which plainly states that the Central Voting Bureau shall divide the sum of the voting figures of all political parties by the number of seats to be filled in Parliament. The results of the division here is referred to as the electoral quota. Thereafter, seats will be assigned to political parties as many times as the electoral quota is included in the voting figure of that party list. Article 98 further states that for the purpose of filling seats allotted to each political party, seats are assigned in order of the candidates with the highest votes on that particular party list. Madam Chair, this clearly debunks any notion that the seat belongs to the candidate or member of Parliament. In addition, if parliamentary seats were belong to the Member of Parliament, said independent Member of Parliament would be looking forward to defending their supposedly seat in Parliament and not in search of a political party home to contest the upcoming election, and hopefully their selected party is allotted seats in Parliament and they have garnered enough votes within the party to be assigned a seat and return to Parliament. Madam Chair, we have also heard the false narrative on the floor of Parliament that members of Parliament have a right to declare themselves as an independent members of Parliament. Madam Chair, I can stand corrected, but where in the statutory order is it explicitly or implicitly mentioned that members of Parliament have a right to declare themselves as independent members of Parliament? Madam Chair, in search of an answer to said question, as part of the ongoing white paper research with the work entitled The Evolution of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, St. Martin Perspective, I have queried the Central Voting Bureau as to the same question, based on which statutory order or orders are members of Parliament allowed to declare themselves as independent members of Parliament? Are independent members of Parliament legally permissible? Also required, as to which constitutional or statutory order allows for Parliament to accept and recognize members of Parliament indiscriminately declaring themselves as independent members of Parliament, effectively superseding the statutory principle of proportional representation and voiding the ministerial regulation that has established the composition of Parliament based on electorate's votes.
This is not a St. Martin phenomenon, okay? And as it concerns stability, then yes, we have to evaluate not from a place of punishment and emotion, but from a place of really looking at the structure and evaluating what works for us in our culture. And again, deeper than just what is surface level. Madam Chair, when we look at, because according to Mr. Romney, it is all about the party, the election ordinance, this is how we get into Parliament, the party is the core focus. Okay, well, how a party is set up on St. Martin, especially as it concerns their manifestos, their values, their beliefs. Because I can tell you, oftentimes, parties have manifestos in which their content, not all, but some, their content is quite scarce. So as a member, and I'm talking about as a constituent, but also even as a candidate, you come in not really knowing what the party's stance is on certain issues. Is the party left-leaning on immigration, or are they right-leaning? And then you get elected, and persons are put in ministerial positions, and you find out, oh, wow, is this the party's stance, or is the individual minister choosing to make decisions on their own personal views? So as a candidate, how do you go against what is a person in a position of power? Or is it the party's stance, or what is it really? And that's the thing. That's why I ask us to look deeper than just, oh gosh, we have to punish this person because they disagreed with the party. But what does the party actually stand for? And do the candidates themselves know what the parties stand for? Not only do candidates find themselves in shock, but constituents find themselves in shock. Why? Because parties are not properly and effectively establishing their policy views on matters of importance. And that, to me, I find is more important than whether a member thinks that they should leave the party. When it comes to staffing and cost, MP Peterson made a proposal. In Aruba, we were talking to some Aruban MPs recently. Parties have to establish foundations, and those foundations are given budgets to then use. Whatever direction we go in, we need to, again, look at what works for us as St. Martin, and we need to say what will be the best way possible. Not only the most cost-effective way, but it also has to be accountable. Because parties can have, whether it's 1 staff or 3 staff members, is the work being done to serve the country? To me, that is what it's about. When we talk about staffing again, it's interesting because about 10 years ago, ministers' cabinets were about 5 persons on average. Now we see huge cabinets, maybe because there are a need, or there is a need for more persons. But then ministers are now justifying that need. So even the cost of cabinets have increased. And what you see now is a number of consultants being hired. So they might not be directly working in a cabinet, but they're consulting the minister. We have to evaluate all the structures in the public sector on St. Martin, Madam Chair. It is not only about evaluating Parliament. So I look forward to those evaluations as well.
Prior to 10-10-10, we were monistic. We would go in, create a slate, and here's my top 10. These are the top 10 people that will be representing you. So when they go in, the top 5 for sure will be the commissioner and the island council member. So that's how the party sold themselves. And when it comes to ideology and so on, either or. It's every party has an ideology, but prior to that, that's how you went in. You went in as a team, and you weren't out there looking to vote for me because vote for me, not that person, because that person will have enough votes, but I need votes to get in. So that wasn't part of that. That everyone was a team, everyone came in as a team, and when Island Council was called, that commissioners were called into Island Council, and they could have saved themselves. They were part of the voting in the Island Council as well. My question to you then, Mr. Romney, is, through you, Madam Chair Lady, is do you think that this system now, have we had not have this system now and continue this same system as the monism and not the dualistic system that we're in right now, if we would have had less instability in government? Do you think it's worth maybe returning to a monistic system instead of a dualistic system? And in my personal opinion, through you, Madam Chair Lady, I'm an independent member, and yes, according to MP William Marlin, indeed, I agree with some of the things MP William Marlin says. Something him and I discussed many times in the past is that, yes, you have a right to go independent. It's your right. But I have two questions on this. Is it, I'm trying to understand from you, Mr. Romney, through you, Madam Chair Lady, are you saying that if the person goes independent, it should just leave the seat and let it return the seat to the party? Is that what you're suggesting here? And secondly, right now, as it is, we're 10 factions. And we are costing this parliament a lot of money. And yes, we voted with our conscience, and because we were not comfortable or not happy with where the party was leading, some of us, 5 of us left and became independent. But I also believe that I think it's something we need to discuss and that's something I think, and faction leaders, we need to discuss and see how we should go about it. And it's mainly the cost-saving effects. In Holland, when you go independent, you're kind of like getting a tick up the finger because you're not afforded the amenities as a faction. Maybe it's something we can consider, something we should look at. Cut down on staff, cut down on travel, cut down on maybe allowing a faction leader to be, independent member to become a faction leader. These are things we need to discuss. And in conclusion, Madam Chair Lady, I'm not saying all of these because I'm actually, we've discussed these things many times and time and time again in the last 2-3 years of this term. And in the last parliamentary year, it was concluded that we prepare a term of reference. We highlighted the top articles of concerns that we want to discuss, and I've sent you a letter in January, and I sent you a letter recently, 2-3 weeks ago, asking how far we are with that, because we can start working, as MP William Allen suggested, on getting that term of reference, having real discussions, and making the changes before postulation day in November. So, Madam Chair Lady, I'm urging you to please, I'm literally begging you, because let's make this electoral council, this ad hoc committee, a workable committee between May, June, July, August, September, October, before postulation. There's 6 months. We can do this. We have that term of reference out there. Let's get that law firm. Let's make valuable changes to this country for once and for all. I want to do it. And that's where I left the committee, and I would like for us as committee members to execute that. So please, and maybe with the help through you, Madam Chair Lady, of Mr. Romney, to have open discussions, but make valuable changes. Let's stop talking, and let's start walking. Let's.
Okie dokie. There you have it. There you had explanations. Basically, members of the independent members of parliament was like, he don't know what he's talking about, because of course it doesn't suit their needs. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport.
No matter how I try to leave, they just keep pulling me back in.
You'll always be a part of me. Did you bounce all that stuff on that lead? Oh, it is gonna never change me. You'll always be my baby.
My baby! Thought you said wow! We back again, double, we live. Yes, sir. You love me. Yes, yeah. Sing. I can't leave. I can't leave. I can't leave.
It's time SXM presents a grand fundraising raffle taking place on Sunday, May 28th. The grand fundraising raffle. Get your tickets now for only $10. The first prize is a 55-inch smart TV. Second prize, a hotel weekend stay. Third prize, a Samsung phone. And the fourth prize, a 100 Gilda shopping voucher courtesy of Carrefour. It's going down on Sunday, May 28th. The fundraising raffle. Tickets available for only $10. Proceeds will go towards a back-to-school program. Purchase your tickets at Creative Juices or from any of the members. Call 556-5181 or 523-8272. It's time SXM.